Hey everyone, welcome back to the garage. We've got another episode today, working on the bean. A whole lot of little stuff. I made a list, so we'll just get cracking on it right away and see what we can all get done today. Stick around. Those work. Now these obviously aren't Honda horns. I think I got them, I think they're off like an 80s Mercedes or something. I don't know. I got them at the junkyard. They were for the Z, but this thing will need horns before the Z does, because that thing's giving me issues, so I guess that's where they're going. Nice and loud anyway. Alright, so the next thing we got going is the wideband, and that's pretty simple. I didn't do it quite right, because when we did wire this in, we wired it I think to the cigarette lighter, so it comes on with key on. Most guys say wire it to the ECU power and ground. I guess it just makes it a little more consistent, but we didn't do that when we did put it in, so it can stay. I'm not taking it all apart. There's a white and a blue wire. I don't know what the blue wire does. The white wire is the one that you're supposed to hook up to data log to the ECM. Most guys say that goes on D10. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that one. There's no pin in my D10, so I put it on 14. D14. And it should work. I guess we'll put in the Honda, plug in the Honda data and see if it is actually copacetic. Yeah, I just got to heat shrink all these connectors and then throw that ECU back up where it needs to be, bolt it in, get it all out of the way. Mint. Alright, so next on the list is we're going to wire in this water meth. And basically, what I want to happen is I want it to be powered off the defrost button. So when I push the button, it lights up and it lets me know that the meth pump and everything is turned on. And then be triggered by the ECU so that it knows when to spray, obviously. So I don't have to put the Hobbs switch in as a trigger. So what I have done So what I did was, sorry this is all taken apart already, but took my power off the defroster relay, and I don't have anything, I'll just show you. I don't have anything going on back here. In the tailgate, you see you got no wiper motor. That harness is chopped off for the wiper motor, but I do have the defroster wire. And that's a big old black and green. And there's, looks like part of a broken off one in there. Whatever. Summer car, right? You don't need a defroster. So that was black and green. So I pulled the box out. And I was in here already making sure this would work, so it's upside down, sorry. It's alright. Got the big black and green coming out of the plug that comes from the relays. Alright, so I figured that one would be my defroster. And, you know what, maybe I'll just show you since I have the camera out. Yeah, those are just twisted together for now. Let me plug the battery in real quick and I'll show you if it works. So what I got going on here is I just clamped my positive lead from my tester and my negative lead, which is coming off. Get where you're supposed to be. Alright, and so I will go inside and push the defrost button. You have to excuse my tester here, it's kind of finicky. Dying, but yeah, I'll go press the button and then watch the voltage. Defrost on. Defrost off. Defrost on. Defrost off. Okay, so overall, pretty simple. Turn that off. Unplug this battery. Overall, pretty simple. Just use the defrost circuit pretty much. I clip the wire from that goes to the back to the actual defroster because it's not going to work anyway, so I have that in there. So I will tie it into that one. I'll clean it up and that will energize my relay, and then get trigger from the ECU, which I'm not sure which pin yet. I have to check. Alright, so just a little demonstration. I still got everything kind of clipped up in here, but I took the hose off the nozzle. See the hose into the container. I got the wire off of the relay for the pump. That will be the trigger wire. Everything else should be hooked up. Defrost button should be pushed in the car. So I will trigger this off of the fuse box. Sorry for the heavy breathing. I'll point you guys at the... Ooh, careful to spray myself in the face. Just like that. Deadly. It's pretty much all this. Clean it all up, mount stuff, heat shrink stuff, crimp stuff, and then go inside and figure out which pins I need to tie into to make this thing work properly. And just like that, we got her all cleaned up, tucked back in there. All the wires are tucked in. This is only, you can see the red one a little bit going through the grommet, but other than that, she's pretty clean. Grounded it underneath here. And the other wire runs down kind of with the loom, down to the pump. Pump is grounded down by itself. I pulled the trigger wire through the firewall. Brought it up here. I'm just going to grab a bucket real quick. Got the nozzle tossed into a pail. Got key on. Defroster button pushed, so it's lit up. Our trigger wire here, and thing is savage. Huh, sweet. Alright, so we got the old Honda open here, and what we're going to do is get texts, apparently. Parameters. Now, I've never done this before, so if I'm doing something wrong, make sure to comment. Alright, so nitrous and auxiliary. For nitrous control, we're just going to do water alcohol injection. Perfect. And the output control says 820. Okay, we could use, looks like any of those. We're not going to use alternator or radiator control. I'm going to see if I have A15, the fan clutch, or the AC clutch. If not, then I'll put it on A20. Alright. So I pulled out, it's the biggest connector. It's connector A. And I just Googled these pins. I'm not a Honda professional by any means. But it's black and red. A little bit of silver apparently. But yeah. So I'm going to splice into this one and use that one as my trigger. And we will have to tune a little bit once we get it going. Get the car on the road, I'm sure. But for now, that's what we're going to do. And then I can clean everything up and put my ECU back in and she'll be mint. So, we got that all buttoned up. ECU is bolted back in. Wires are tucked up where they need to be and all behind there. She's mint. And then I got a little carried away because Spotify had a good playlist on. I didn't want to interrupt it. The cover toss back on. Got some of the random wiring that was here tucked up, zip tied, shortened, whatever. Ran a vacuum line for my wastegate, which I need to check the spring in that. Maybe we'll do that yet today. Lengthened out my headlight harness because that was way too short and it was rubbing on the body. What else did I do? I'm sure there was something, I just can't remember. So yeah, that pretty much checks off most of our list, except for this. I don't really feel like being under the car today. I hate being under cars. We'll just call that list done. Maybe I'll bust the wastegate apart here and see what spring is in there. I would like something super light, as little as possible for now. And we can drive it and shake it down a bit. Alright, so I found an actual tile chart, and the red spring, small red spring, is supposed to be 1.87 outer diameter. Hold on. Take a strong hand. That is correct. Okay. So that one then to be 5.8 pounds. So almost a 6 pound spring. Wow. All right. Cool enough. Put her back in and that's that. Thing up, go into Honda, go into your parameters, closed loop, wideband voltage target, and then go to your closed loop advance, select your pin. My wideband's on D14, and then this will be, I changed everything already. but it will look like this. All right. So 5 volts would be, 20. So what you want to do is make it a little more linear. Make that 15. And I started at 2.5, and my gauge and my laptop didn't quite line up. So I changed to 2.8 is pretty close. I think we're going to go 2.75. We'll try that. Turn the key on. There we go. My ignition switch is a little fidgety. That. Upload that into there. Bam. Then let's go to sensors, I believe. Alright, so let me get this up so you can see both of them. It looks pretty close. I did find a few vacuum leaks when I was cleaning up the engine bay. Just a couple little ones, but stuff that, mess with it. Because before I think my vacuum was around 15. So you see there, the vacuum is pretty much lined up because that's a tick under 20. Yeah, 19, right in there. It's mint. Making progress here. Alright, so we got the door open. Let the smoke billow out of here because it doesn't take much and this place is totally full. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to call her for today. We got some stuff checked off the list, and yeah, I probably should crawl underneath and build some exhaust hangers, but I really don't want to. And it's close to supper, so maybe we'll just call it and get that on the next one. But anyway, thanks for sticking around. If you made it this far, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and we'll see you on the next one.